Hello and welcome to Ellaeenah Ascension Network. I am Ellaeenah, and I am honored to be your light friend eternally. Through inspired meditations and channelings from the cosmic overlord JadeFire and other divine masters of white light, let us proceed together on our spiritual journey as lovers of Gaia and beings of divine light. I invite you to visit our sacred space of learning and oneness, www.jadefirelight.com/blog, to read and hear discourses that provide self-empowering divine wisdom. From my soul to yours, in love light and faith divine, I am Ellaeenah JadeFire. Greetings from light. The shift, the shift, the shift. How much has been spoken about this shift, and yet how little understood. So of course, the earth is going through her evolution process, as do all planets, as do all bodies in the universe. So why has such a hue and cry been made about the shift? For the universe, it is not something new. And this is certainly not the first time that this so-called shift has taken place. So what is this fuss about? The reason we would like to address this today is that there are a large number of persons who, in the name of the shift, are busy and engrossed in delusions, deluding themselves, misguiding others. The fuss about the shift creates an attention outside, where everyone seems to be focusing upon the earth and her grid, the earth and her axis, quite forgetting that the macrocosm and the microcosm are one and the same. What you should be focusing upon is that one small seed of knowledge that the earth as a planetary body and Gaia as the spiritual energy and vehicle of this planetary body shall continue with the evolutionary process. In fact, the shift might come and go without you even noticing it, just as you haven't noticed it so many times in the past. Yes, we concede and we agree that this shift in the Earth's energy structure is more significant than the shifts that Earth has made in the past. It is significant for Earth because the energy of this shift draws the Earth into the energies of other sacred planets. We have explained this to you. Sacred planets are those that were once physical, but that now exist as large sacred masses of energy. Their physicality not being able to contain the intensity of their energies. Earth is moving in that direction. Gaia is the vehicle taking Earth from physicality to sacredness, to non-physicality. This process of her evolution shall continue with or without your consensus, with or without your help and support. Of course, because your energies are part of the Earth's energies, and the Earth's energies are part of your energies. The greater is your support, the more conscious is your consensus, the greater is the synergy between the evolving Earth and you. But were it to be that you were not to support it at all, the shift for Earth would still take place. But then the question arises, beloveds, where would it leave you as a human race that lives upon this beautiful planet that has already begun her journey into sacredness? Where would it leave you? The journey into sacredness moves into non-physicality. And if you are constrained by your physicality, then there would be an immeasurable gap between Earth and those that she currently supports. So you see, beloveds, the importance of the shift is not outside. Do not focus so strongly upon Earth's energies and her axis and her grid that you forget your own. We have explained to you that from our perception, physicality does not only mean the body. We include in this term emotions, mental framework. Oh yes, and we most certainly include relationship and human interaction. And that one energy in your world that keeps you very, very closely tied to your physicality. The energy of money. Your country just witnessed a disaster. A disaster that you didn't envisage, and which we must caution you has not yet come to an end. The root of this crumbling away of the physicality of Earth is an eye-opener that money, which seems to be rooting the physicality of the human world, is crumbling. But you are holding on to an energy that is fast dying. When you hold on to any energy that is fast dying, you do not allow new cosmic energy to take its place. The work is to be done here, beloveds, within you. The shift is not about the shift of the earth. We speak again, she shall shift with or without you. The shift that you should be concerned with is the shift within, beloveds. And the first energy that you must all address honestly, in truth, is the energy of greed. Over the months we have said again and again and again, this time is the time of service. Service to self and service to others. But our urging seems to be falling upon dead ears. Dead ears. Ears that are so close that they are even worse than deafness. The focus is still me and mine. There is a holding on. and just no letting go. Do you recall? We told you many months ago that the earth, Gaia, has taken a choice to move her energies, to shift her energies without resorting to any destruction. Do you recall our words? But do you recall what we said immediately after? That she shall choose destruction only if you as the human race will her to choose destruction. Does this answer your question? As a human race, you still need your attention to be drawn by destruction. What shift have you made? You still need your attention to be drawn to greed and lack by you suffering from no abundance or prosperity in your life. You still need your attention to be drawn to the lack of union within you by relationship disharmony and struggle. What shift have you made? We told you this months ago. Oh, you all sagely nod your head in remembrance now. But did you truly remember? But you will say, but I am one, and the human race forgot. And we will knock that down by once again repeating the macrocosm is the microcosm and the microcosm is the macrocosm. We have told you and told you about the power of one. But what shift have you made? What service has there been? We are not looking for 100% service to others. That cannot exist in the human world. It cannot exist. Because the spirit shall continue to need the vehicle of the ego as long as there is a physicality. And as long as the vehicle of the ego survives, there shall be self-centeredness. We grant that, we concede that, we acknowledge that. All we are asking is 51%. 51% of your efforts, of your energies, to be devoted to service of others. Unconditional, without judgment, without asking or even thinking, does she deserve it more, or does he deserve my efforts more? You, beloved, were upset over a chair. What shift? What shift? What do you all hold on to? Have you asked yourselves, all this that I consider so important, is it truly so? Am I defined by these? And the answer is, of course you are. You still are. Kindness. Another word for serving another is kindness. Kindness does not come from the intellectual mind that considers all odds, thinks about our urgings, and then does something for another because we are being asked to. Beloved, kindness flows. It does not look at the person, it does not look at the situation, it flows. Let us turn this subject so that it's a little more selfish, still keeping it at kindness. Each time you are genuinely kind, not intellectually pretending. Each time you are genuinely kind, the physical body releases chemicals which you already know as endorphins. You're already aware that endorphins do a lot for you. They help to stabilize, boost, and strengthen your immune system so that you are never ill. They help you to feel happy and good about yourself all the time. So that even when you do trip up, even when you do make mistakes, you do not take a whip and whip yourself. But you understand that you have erred. And you learn and you go on with life. Kindness helps you as much as it helps the one you are being kind to. Now, out of that selfishness, could you be kind? Kind. Putting someone's pain and needs before you think of yourself. We know that the next stage will be self-sacrificing martyrs. Remember, we are asking for 51%. 49 times out of 100, think of yourself. So why not maintain a little diary every time you tell someone? That's one tick. That's 49 minus 1. That way, you will pay attention to the number of times you genuinely serve another or serve yourself. And the times you serve yourself, don't condemn it and do not contaminate that energy of self-service by calling it selfishness. There is a situation, you chose to serve yourself in that situation. That is it. 48 minus 1. There was something that you desired, which another desired as well. You did not desire to give it up. 47 minus 1. As simple as that. Use your 49 times to your heart's desire. The more full you are within, the greater will be the flow of kindness at the other 51 times. And then that kindness will not be a well thought out kindness. If you have to think about it, beloveds, it becomes 46 minus 1. When kindness flows, you will be aware of your act of kindness after it is over. If you are aware of it before, 45 minus 1. So we have discussed greed and money and kindness. Now let us discuss one more aspect that holds you trapped, well anchored in your physicality. And that is the aspect of self-identity. Now this is a double-edged sword. For it is extremely important to have self-identity. The edge comes up when it is someone or something that gives you the identity. I am a mother is an erroneous self-identity. I am the owner of a home is an erroneous self-identity. So what is your identity then? What is your identity? Whenever you are asked to introduce yourself, you first give your identity with your name. I am Nina. That is all that is required to constrain you in that energy. Next time, beloved, say, my name is Nina. I am not Nina. I am a teacher. I am a healer. I am a seeker. I am a dancer. I am something you are not. And then even stronger than that identity, I am a wife, I am a husband, I am a child, I am a friend, I am a sister, I am a brother. When does it end? When does it end? We ask you, who is sitting here before us? Many months ago, we stopped using names. And we only greet you as light. Why? In order to encourage you to do the same. You get caught in the names of masters as though they genuinely exist. The master energies have merged. And that which you call by names are only the aspects of this magnificent energy of Source, the Creator, you. Your name, beloveds, is also just that, an aspect. And do you not see that when you say, I am Nina, you limit yourself only to that aspect? You do not allow yourself to expand any more than the name, than the relationship, than the possession. So we ask you again, who are we addressing? In fact, we ask you another question. Are we addressing anyone except ourselves? We know the answer to that. Do you know the answer to the question? Are you hearing anyone but yourself? What shift are you making? You are using the shift of the earth as a delusional cover, not to address the real shift that is within. When you are the owner of property, that property shall give you nothing else now but conflict. If your most predominant identity is through a relationship, that relationship can cause you nothing else but grief. Why? We remind you again, because the human race is still choosing conflict and grief and suffering so that its attention can be drawn to what needs to be addressed. Ray 4 has transformed. We cannot say this enough. How many times will we say this before you understand it? Ray 4 has transformed. It is not the ray of harmony through conflict. It is the ray of universal beauty, music and light. But your beliefs haven't transformed. And the ray 4, whose energies were predominantly used to constitute the physicality of earth and the spiritual energy of Gaia, if that has transformed, but your belief in it has not, will your experiences be any different on earth? The day you shift, not intellectually, shift. The day, the instant that you shift to the awareness, to the truth, to the joy, that ray 4 that constitutes the earth is a ray of universal beauty, music, light, harmony. That, beloveds, will be your experience even if the whole world around you is crumbling. So stop looking at another to change first. If you, who come to us so often, who do attempt to change yourselves, if you cannot shift, then what about those who are waiting in the wings for you to help them to shift? You are the front runners. If the front doesn't move, nothing else can. Because the front is emanating the energies of your belief. And you believe that money keeps you safe. You believe that you are your relationships. You believe that your possessions give you status and security. Oh, you believe so much that keeps you chained in your physicality. And that which you believe is that which you emanate, is that which you experience. And let us again shift our focus back to selfishness. Just as kindness releases the chemicals called endorphins, every gesture, every thought, every word of unkindness also releases toxin-like chemicals. We are talking not in any spiritual manner. We are talking of physical truths. These toxin-like chemicals stay as tiny tar-like globules within your system. They constantly keep you in a state of irritability, depression, anger, annoyance, unkindness. So what happens? The more globules there are, the more there will be. The more and more accumulation of these globules, slowly they start traveling to all the organs of your body. That is why, beloveds, that is why physical ailments are caused by emotional imbalance. Because there is a physical toxin-like chemical that is now traveling to your organs. If you still do nothing about these chemicals, then the very last thing to be attacked is your DNA. And any work that you might have done to empower the DNA, to enhance the DNA, will come to naught. For the DNA will once again start a process of regression and restriction. Now you will ask us, this seems like we are caught in a cycle and we shall not be able to free ourselves. That is the farthest from the truth. You do not need a meditation if that is what you choose not to do. You do not need to breathe right if that is what you choose not to do. You do not need to hear wise words if that is what you choose not to do. What is more important than all of these put together is one act of kindness. Because that one act of kindness will release endorphins. And the endorphins will start eating up the tar globules. If you persevere with your acts of kindness, all the tar globules will be eaten up. Even those that you will freshly create. Because yes, you are human. Yes. But are you trying to tell us that kindness is not a part of the human characteristic? So we are telling you, be human. Don't try to be divine. But be as joyously, as kindly, as lovingly human as you can be. Be human. All this running a race, trying to be more divine than the other, oh, it is all so useless. If you can't be human, you can't be divine. For human and divine is one and the same. Practice kindness. Unfortunately, it has now stopped coming naturally to a large number of people. Should we give you a rather quaint exercise?
Yes.
To practice kindness?
Yes.
Not on another human being. Why? Because you already have beliefs. Some you believe are uplifted and ascended and evolved and masters, and others you believe are base and dark and dense, and most people fall somewhere in between. So you shall not practice on a human being just yet. So you shall practice on an inanimate object. Take your most favorite inanimate object. For a large number of people, we believe it might be their phones. Isn't that sad that that has become your source of communication, your form of communication? So let us go with that. Your phone. Take it each day and start your morning by loving that phone, by being grateful for all the people that it helps you to stay in contact with and never speak to them. Lovingly clean it. Hold it to your heart. Feel a oneness with it. Love, genuine love and gratitude. That shall release enough endorphins for you to last a few hours in a state of feeling good. And in that state of feeling good, kindness to another shall flow naturally. The reason we are asking you to use inanimate objects is because there are no judgments attached to it. But if there is a judgment attached to a particular object, let us say a particular object reminds you of an unhappy state of existence, then that is not the object you choose to work with first. We are making it as simple as we can for you. Pick up any object, an object that reminds you of a loved one, an object that reminds you of a time when you were happy, young, carefree. Love that object. Be grateful for its presence in your life. and then move on to objects which have no particular meaning for you, neither positive nor negative. For example, a glass. That's just what it is, a glass. But be grateful, for were it not there, you'd be lapping the water off the floor. Feel it lovingly. Is it clean enough? Clean that object. Be kind to it. And when that stage is done, then go to objects that have a not so good feeling and memory for you. And then, and only then, you will be ready